Did you ever feel completely alone in a room full of people? It's like you're talking to them, you're listening to them, you're hearing them, you're touching them, but inside you feel completely lonely. Well, it's not necessarily because you're a lone wolf. It's not necessarily because you're a schizophrenic. It might just be because the flies of the market does not stop to act upon you, and the flies of the market does not stop to bite you. In this chapter, chapter 12 of Thus Spoke Zarathustra and the flies of the marketplace, we will talk about what does exactly mean to be a fly of the marketplace, what exactly is even the marketplace, how can we as human beings stop becoming a fly of the marketplace, and how can we correspond and live with the idea that there is even such a thing as the marketplace, and well, how does the Ubermensch connected to all of it? Let's dive in. Where solitude ends, there the marketplace begins. And where the marketplace begins, there also begins the noise of the great actors and the buzzing of poisonous flies. When Nietzsche talks about the marketplace and when Nietzsche talks about the flies of the market, he's basically talking about us. The marketplace is everywhere we choose to be, whether it's your house, your office, your neighborhood, the world, the social media, the news, wherever you look at, it's probably the marketplace. And in the marketplace, you have many things. You have also good stuff such as food, water, whatever it is that they're selling there. And you also have the flies. The flies of the marketplace are the great actors, as Nietzsche pronounced in this quote, and they're basically all of us. Some of us are flies of the market all day long. Some of us are small time of the day. Some of us are big, some of us are small, some of us are medium, like always. And as Shakespeare said, the world is a stage and we're all actors. Nietzsche goes even further. It says, life is a marketplace. We're all poisonous flies. Now, why does he call them the great actors? Well, like Shakespeare's quote, of course, Shakespeare was before Nietzsche. He says the great actors as we all acting all the time, which is true. But it's also because the great actors are, or at least in cinema, okay, in cinema, what is the role of an actor? The role of an actor in cinema is to represent an idea and a role that it was chosen to represent. So it's either representing a villain, a good man, a moral man, whatever. It's representing something. And those people, those actors are usually very or supposed to be eccentric. They're not normal people. Because if you watch a movie which is exactly a normal life, nothing interesting going over there, you will not see the movie. Because we want to watch a movie where something out of reality happens in order to escape reality and get that feeling of that movie. We don't want to just watch a person sitting on the couch with his wife watching the news for 40 minutes or scrolling to TikTok for 2 hours like all of human beings does. We want to see a huge amount of events, especially nowadays, that the person is acting upon in order to feel like life has a bigger meaning in that movie, which is very normal. It's entertainment, right? Not necessarily philosophical entertainment, can be just regular entertainment like Fast and Furious or whatever. So Nietzsche says that those actors are also not only exist, of course, in movies, they also exist everywhere. And they also represent big ideas. Or how he said it better is, in the world, even the best things are worthless without those who represent them. And it's so true. Because those great actors and those great ideas are not correlated together. Without you being a great actor, those great ideas will probably not exist as big as they are. And we can take a look at every simple example. Let's take a look, for example, at Greta Thunberg. She just had a great case with my country Israel, so it's a good girl to talk about. Came into the country with a boat instead of a flight because she doesn't want to have carbon footprint, however she called it, after the war. And she was given a sandwich, and she complained about it because it has pastrama and because it was in a nylon wrap and whatever. I mean, come on. Why do we need to talk about climate change by sorry for my French, a autistic kid that has nothing but hatred towards the world? For Christ's sake, going to places on a boat for the carbon footprint, making such big noise about everything, creating so much drama around the subject. Come on, I mean, Sure, climate change is important, but is that really the person that we want to represent us? What about what about scientists? What about physicists? What about I don't know. I don't know even what is the degree upon it. But what about PhD people, professors? What about the people who have actually something to say? What do we need? I don't know. Even how old is she? 18, 19, 18, 19 autistic-year-old girl that is probably gonna become a lesbian or a man soon enough with all of her liberal ideas to talk about this kind of subject. Why do we need Andrew Tate, a misogynistic, sunglasses wearing son of a bitch that talks about masculinity? Of course, masculinity is important and you must retrieve masculinity. But is really that the guy that we want to represent us? The guy that was having a huge company and made his fortune from having Romanian girls talk to lonely men and jerking off in front of the camera in order to get satisfaction from them? Is that really the guy that we want to have as representation for giving back masculinity? Andrew Tate and Greta Thunberg. Are those really the people we want to represent us? Are those really the creators of the new noise that we want to represent those important ideas? And because we live in the marketplace, without the great actors, those ideas mean nothing. And that's the unfortunate part. Without Andrew Tate and without Greta Thunberg that are provocative and annoying and obnoxious, those two ideas will be simply not mattered. Those two ideas will be simply forgotten. Those two ideas, very important ideas, will be simply out of place. Because when a provocative actor, when a provocative character represents us those ideas and pushes it down our throat and makes us angry about it and creates upon it and acts upon it, then all of a sudden it makes sense. So that's very sad to hear in the marketplace. And those great actors, their way to say it, as we said before, is to upset you, is to push it down your throat, is to create some sort of bubbling in your mind, is to create some sort of movement in your psyche. Otherwise, you will not listen to it. Or as Nietzsche pronounced it, to upset, that means to convince in their eyes. And blood is the best of all arguments. Nietzsche was in 1880. He didn't know influencers as we know it today, so for him the flies of the marketplace are politicians, generals, and writers in newspapers and whatnot. They're not really influencers. So blood relates very well to them, although today, of course, we still have blood in the news, right? Like the only way for you to be scared of an Iranian attack or from a Russian attack if you're living in the USA, or a Chinese attack if you live in the Philippines, is by showing you blood and fear and armies and war, right? Because that's the best way to affect someone, because blood is the easiest of all arguments. It's always showing fear and conducting fear and controlling your psyche. There's a great movie by Adam Curtis that I already showed in the last video about the power of terror and the power of nightmares. I'll link it over here again so you can watch it. It shows exactly the correlation between how to control your psyche with showing you nightmares of political events or war events. Now, the greatest issue with those great actors is that they have no choice. Because it's not that they do it because they decided to do it, it's because they do it because they're a prophecy that is pronouncing themselves. We need those great actors in order to feel that something is occurring in our lives. So we're pushing them in order to give us a yes or a no. Or as Nietzsche pronounced it, they want either a yes or a no. Alas, would you set your chair between for and against? It seems like there is always something that needs to be done. It seems like there's always some side you need to be choosing, otherwise you're just not being good enough. It seems like not making a decision is the worst decision. So even if there's election, you have to choose someone. Come on. What? Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? That's my choices? Really? What's her name? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? That's my choices? Why? Because they push you to choose a yes or a no, but you don't have to. Why would you put your chair before against? Why is it either supporting Andrew Tate or hating Andrew Tate? Why is it being with Greta Thunberg about the climate change or be against Greta Thunberg in the climate change? Why can't you just not give a fuck? Why it always has to be in something? Why is it that they make you believe that if you don't support the climate change, then you're an asshole, and if you don't care about it, then you're more of an asshole because you don't have an opinion? Why is that? Because they must give you a yes or a no in order for them to have any sort of effect. If you will not choose a yes or a no, you're not making a decision. If you're not making a decision, they don't have an effect. If they don't have an effect, they cannot sting. The issue with the great actors is not only that they conduct fear about your psyche and they conduct war on our mind, it's always that they don't matter anything. They never created anything. They just take big ideas and they push them down your throat and create a big noise upon it and make you believe that that is the only thing that matters and that is the creation itself, that you must choose a yes or a no, whatever. They're basically not doing anything. Andrew Tate did not invent any idea. He didn't bring anything forward to the table. Neither does Gennard Tannenberg. Neither is any influencer or most of influencers online. They don't create anything. They're just giving the new noise. They're just creating a provocative idea about the thought that they're having. They're not really doing anything interesting. Whereas Nietzsche pronounced it, not around the inventors of new noise, but around the inventors of new values does the world revolve. It revolves inaudibly. The creators are the one who's creating the world. The philosophers, the mathematicians, the scientists, the physicists, the artists, the musicians, they are creating the world. They are what giving us actual meaning to the world. They are bringing forth new ideas, not the creators of new noise. And those artists and physicists and mathematics and scientists, they don't need noise and social media coverage and exposure in order to bring forth their ideas. They're just doing it because it's an urgent feeling of them to create those ideas, because without creating those ideas and without pushing forth their ideas and without changing the world, they will simply feel unneeded. It's like radical love. You're not doing it because you want to, you're doing it because you have no choice. That is the radical action. Those creators, they have nothing else to do but to create. It's not that they decide to come forth and create noise in order to gain fame or gain recognition. They do it because they have no other choice. It's like a great founder of a company. He's not building it to become rich. He's building the company because he has an idea that he cannot give up on, and he will push the idea as hard as he possibly can, as much as he hardly can, simply to get this idea forth. Or a musician that creates an album. It's not that he says, oh, I think I'm how to, a great album, right? Not just like a pop song or something. He has a great idea about music, and he must conduct that idea of music, and he must bring it forth out of his mind in order to create energy out of himself, not to get recognition. It's like Bob Dylan didn't go to the Nobel Prize of Literature, not because he said, I want to create provocative, because he doesn't care about the recognition of creating a Nobel Prize. He does not care about the capitalist prize about becoming a mega artist. He doesn't mind, because his art is the thing that he's bringing forth, not his recognition. The problem with the marketplace is that we always have it. No matter where we'll go, no matter where we'll be, it will always exist. So the only way for you to have both sides of things and both sides of the coin is to, on one time of your life, escape the marketplace, and in the other part, leaving the marketplace. And as we said in the earliest chapters, doing both will basically fill your heart, empty your heart, fill your heart, empty your heart. Or as Nietzsche says it, flee, my friend, into your solitude. And it is fleeing, it is escaping. To talk about my personal life and the way I view this thing, I think that a great movie that anyone watching this video needs to watch is Into the Wild. It's about this kid that when he was after he did his degree on the history of African colonialism, he took his bag and just decided to walk and hitchhike to Alaska. And living in Alaska in some, like just in the wild, right? It's a true story in the 1970s. And the movie, you can see like how he's going through in life and what he's being through and what he's doing forth and what exactly is happening to him. I won't tell you the end in case you haven't watched it, but in the end it says, happiness is only real when shared. And it's a great quote because the understanding that life has to be shared with others and the idea that life has to be come with being with another human being cannot be real unless you understand the idea of the marketplace. Unless you understand that there's flies of the marketplace and they sting you and they bite you and you hate it, you will never understand the other side of the coin, that you must be with them in order to live life to the fullest. Because most people just live a neutral. Most people just live life as it is and they don't really understand one way or another. They don't think that they need to be happy with others because they never had the idea of not being with others. The only way to enjoy other people is to have your own solitude and living in your own life. And what really resonates with me, because I was a very depressed kid when I was 16 till, even before a bit, but 16 till 18, I was a very depressed kid. I was thought everything and everyone around me are either stupid, colonialist, capitalist pigs, or just morons who doesn't understand how life should be conducted. And I escaped to Australia to live on my own for 1 year there. And I had a few weeks where I had to sleep on the street, and I had a few days where I couldn't even buy myself a beer, and I was working 16 hours a day just to retrieve the money that I owed to my friend. And it was a very rough time where I made a lot of mistakes and a lot of misdeeds and a lot of loneliness, real loneliness. For 1 year, I had weeks where I didn't even talk because I had no people to be around with. Or at least when I talked, people didn't notice and just cursed me or called me gay or called me a colonialist or whatever. And when I had this rough year, I understood internally that life must be shared with the people that you love, and life must be shared with the people that you appreciate. And you will not get happiness unless you share your life with others. Now, of course, everybody understands it, but it's only a revelation when you actually do it. And you will only feel it truthfully when you realize that the world is a marketplace and we're all flies of the market. To conclude this, I want you to think for yourself. Are you making decisions because they put you in the chair of a yes or a no? Or because it's truly your thought and it's truly what you think you need to do? Are you conducting life as a marketplace fly, or are you conducting life as a good person who loves his life and is making good for the world? And the challenge for you is try to see when is it that you're fly of the marketplace, or when is it the surroundings of fly of the marketplace. And instead of just taking it as it is, escape the situation and flee to your solitude, not forever, but in for that hour, 2 hours, that situation, or whatever. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this channel. If you do, please like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Please tell me what is it that you want me to keep doing in this channel. How do you think I can improve it? If you want me to talk of any other books, if you want me to talk about different parts of Nietzsche. I'm basically covering all Thus Spoke Zarathustra from top to bottom, all the way from the prologue to the last chapter. So there's going to be like 200 videos about this book, maybe even more. I just want to get the message forward, and the goal is to reach the 16-year-old kid that I was internally in my own psyche, and outside with a real 16-year-old depressed kid who thinks that life is too big or too small for him, and make him see that life is actually fun in the end of the day. Thank you guys for watching, and please tell me how can I improve.